Charlie. Mark, 1 Charlie.
Ladies and gentlemen,
I'm full of optimism.
Einstein's theory of relativity.
We're still seeing it quite well through that haze.
T-minus 37 seconds.
Spike is growing
E equals MC.
That all men are created equal.
About the future innovations.
and growing strength in the air.
Ignition sequence.
Tear down this
Something's happening coming up on staging.
This is Finding Your Frequency with your hosts, Jeff Spenard and Ryan Treasure. It's time to speak up, share your voice, and hear from the thought leaders.
And welcome to Finding Your Frequency. I am your host, Jeff Spenard. I'm the CEO and president of World Talk Radio, home to the Voice America Talk Radio and TV networks. Joining me, of course, my co-host, 12-year colleague, 17-year veteran, and my vice president of broadcast operations, Mr. Ryan Treasure.
Jeff, thanks for the introduction. It's going to be a really good show today. We're going to talk about some cool stuff that I'm excited about.
Absolutely. As you notice, I went back to old school introduction.
Old school
Do
intro.
you like that?
Yep.
Yes, we have some very cool stuff here today. Finding Your Frequency is diving into hard money today.
Hard money, baby.
Yep. But before that, let's talk about last week, real brief, as we do every week. We were in love last week. We touched base on relationships and, how to get that divine love.
Yeah, we had two awesome guests on, Rochelle Kako and Dr. Richard London, and, got to kind of hear two different sides of the ball game as it relates to relationships. One from Rochelle on the, on the normal side of relationships and kind of,
I don't know if there's a normal side,
right.
but...
I guess I'm comparing that to Dr. London's, a little bit more, esoteric side.
Absolutely.
And spirituality, as he puts it.
Rachel, she kind of reminded me of the Men Are From Mars, Women From Venus type. She had the take on, the women's concepts and ideas and how they think relationships as opposed to the men. And yes, absolutely. Dr. London was more about the universal love, the divine love, and getting a little deep into the esoteric
extremely
side of
deep, yeah.
Yeah, but it was good because he makes a lot of sense when he talks. Dr. London is a very logical type guy, but brings it to you in a very peaceful, tranquil way.
Yeah, one of the cool things,
sense.
it really does. And if you guys didn't get a chance to listen to that episode, go listen, because there was, one extremely good takeaway from the words of wisdom from the guru of wisdom himself, Dr. London. It was, it was about being love. Like if you want to have love and have good relationships, you have to be love. And I know it doesn't make sense if you're not listening to that episode right now for your listeners, but go take a listen, because you'll understand that being love is what creates and cultivates the divine relationship.
Exactly. And you have to love yourself, which is what being love is.
If you guys can see me right now, I'm hugging myself.
Lots of love going on here. Okay.
Yeah, that was a good show. Good show.
Let's move. We have a lot of different things coming up, but
yeah, lots of events.
This show, we are talking about the hard money industry. We've got two very fantastic guests here to join us today.
Yep.
In fact, one of them we'll bring on here shortly. But let's talk about, kind of what we've got coming up here before we bring Gene in.
Yeah, absolutely.
Go ahead.
I was just going to go right into the event that we have.
Okay. I was going to do the same thing, but you seemed like you had something really important to jump in there, so go ahead.
We've been working with pitbullconference.com and their CEO for going on almost 2 years now.
Yep.
And, when we first went out to Fort Lauderdale and covered the first event, it was extremely new for us, being in that realm of non-traditional financing as it relates to, commercial properties or fix and flips residential and that kind of stuff. And, man, I just, over the course of the last, year and, 8 months or whatever it's been, I've learned so much about the hard money lending. I'm totally into it now.
Dude, you get so involved in, we went to the 39th annual. That's where we started with Lenard. We brought the radio station or channel down there. We did the live broadcast, and, Ryan's digging into the background of the books, and, we paid attention to what was happening up on stage, and But yeah, you definitely dug right into it, which is normal, Ryan Treasure. No matter what it is, he dives right in. But yeah, it was a great event, and then Lenard really, he saw the value in the the greatness of having Voice America live on premise. So we ended up doing the 40th and the 41st, and because of that, now he actually brought his event to our backyard, and we are going to be set up there, both TV and radio.
Yeah, and that's actually a perfect segue, because for the first time in the history of VoiceAmerica.com and VoiceAmerica.tv, we'll be bringing to you live from the 42nd National Hard Money Conference in Scottsdale, Arizona, from the Weekapaw Resort, a live radio and television simulcast. You can check out the live video stream at VoiceAmerica.tv/events, and you can listen to the live radio portion of the event at VoiceAmerica.com/live events. And it's going to be a really good time for Voice America to showcase our technical ability in the arena for broadcast, as well as really amp up this event and bring hard money to the world.
Love it. And Lenard, we're going to test it all out with you, my friend, so it's all good, and we'll talk to you later about that. But let's go ahead and let's bring on our first guest. This gentleman is the host of Second Wind Success, which is focused on helping baby boomers catch their second wind in business and in life. Gene's mission is to inspire boomers to achieve more than they dreamed possible later in life, exploring the paths and discoveries that others have made as they've reached their greatest levels of success. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Mr. Gene Guarino.
Thank you.
Welcome to the show, Gene.
It's a bromance going on here.
It is, isn't it?
I want to interrupt.
We're coming from that love over to this show, so we're still trying to, incorporate that.
Only here on Finding Your Frequency do you go from a Valentine's Day special to hard money lending.
That's right. Well, hey, at least something's hard.
Nice. We're going to stay away from that one. Gene, welcome to the show. We'll talk about your show a little bit later on, but listen, tell the audience a little bit about, or at least the Finding Your Frequency audience, a little bit about Gene Guarino.
You bet. Well, what I do right now is residential assisted living. What I did a lot earlier was I was a professional musician. I've been a certified financial planner in the U.S. for over 20 years, licensed in Australia for a number of years. I've been an entrepreneur, a serial entrepreneur, real estate investor, angel investor. But right now I focus on just one thing, and that's residential assisted living, helping seniors live those last years with just a tremendous atmosphere in a home where they can be taken care of.
Yeah, Gene, this is Ryan. You and I have got the opportunity over the, past couple of Pitbull conferences to, really talk in depth about your business and what you guys do on the assisted living side and how hard money really helps to, drive new advances in what you're doing. And, I want to implore those folks to go take a listen to some of those interviews on our live events channel from previous Pitbulls. But, as we move into a different audience here with Finding Your Frequency on this channel, different than our live events channel, I think it's important that the listeners understand that what you do is really a driving factor in assisting people have better lives, and kind of tell us a little bit about how you leverage the hard money lending industry to ramp up those assisted living facilities.
You got it. Well, with Lenard coming on, he's a tremendous expert in the hard money, and I'm sure everybody has an idea of what that is, but it is high interest rates for a short period of time. And with what I do with the residential assisted living, sometimes the banks are a little less easy or friendly to deal with. So I love dealing with private lenders, and hard money allows you to get into a deal, and then you can always refinance later with longer term, low interest rate financing. So it's a really great vehicle to be able to move you forward in whatever business endeavor you're in. And for myself with the assisted living, we take single family homes, we do some conversion to it, get it licensed for this purpose, and then we operate this business inside this residential setting. So it's a little different. The banks get a little squirrely with that. So the combination with Lenard and private lenders and investors who have money available from a hard money standpoint, it's a great combination.
Right. Now, Gene, obviously with a very colorful history, being involved with angel funding, you're a serial entrepreneur. Now your sole goal, or one of your major goals, is to help seniors with the assisted living. What pushed you in that direction?
It really started about 15 years ago, Jeff, where I was actually listening to somebody else share from the front of the room about assisted living, and this is coming, and we need to prepare for it. And I thought to myself, from a business standpoint, that makes a lot of sense. And I wanted to get into it at that time, but there was nobody there that was willing and able to teach me how to do it. So years came, fly by, and then my mom needed help. And when she was in her 80s, she started to need help and forgetting her medication, and you're asking her, how you doing? I'm doing okay. Did you take your medication? I can't remember. And all those things that a lot of people listening have gone through. So we couldn't find the help that we wanted, that we needed. So I created the solution for that, the home in a residential setting. So it's really the business side first, and then it was the taking care of mom second. And I knew that if I could provide a solution that I'd be proud to have my mom, my dad move into, there would literally be millions of people around the country that would need it and want it, and I was right.
Yeah, and I got to throw kudos out your way for you, really stepping up and taking that challenge to heart. When I was growing up, my grandmother was in a traditional assisted living home. It was kind of like an apartment complex that had, 24-hour care if needed. There was a button on the wall you push, someone would come, and that kind of thing. And when she moved from that type of assisted living facility to the single family home where, she had her own room, there was a nurse that was there and available 24 hours a day. There was no button to push. There was a lot more, hands-on caring that happened in that space. And I really did. I watched my grandmother go from this weird, place of, being lonely and all of this all the time and not having, activities and people to talk to, kind of coming out of her shell towards the end of her life. But I think it was a really helpful thing for her to have that additional happiness being in one of the residential homes.
Shuffleboard and boyfriends?
Yeah, well, and that was kind of the thing that she wasn't able to do because, when you're in this apartment style complex and, you're on the third floor and you're, 80 years old, it's like, okay, they have a pool and they have all these things, but you can't get down to the pool. You got to call someone to help you. You got to, all these different things that you got to jump through hoops for rather than, being, less people that someone has to manage in the home style, and I really think it helps to lend to way better care.
Yeah, and when I was a kid, I used to deliver papers, and two of my deliveries on my route both were what I called old folks' homes at the time.
Right.
And it was, probably in one there was probably 40 different people, in the other one there was like almost 80. And it was like a hotel style.
Right, yeah, that's
setup.
exactly how this was with my grandma.
And it just seemed lonely in there. Like there wasn't anything going on, and there was just kind of like the hospital set up with the nurse out front, but everybody's in their rooms all by themselves. And I don't know, it wasn't the greatest place, at least when I was a kid, thinking back to that.
Yeah, and you know what, guys? We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we come back on the other side of the break. We're going to dig in a little bit more with Gene and talk about his radio show that he has on the Voice America Variety Channel and some up-and-coming things that Gene has, as well as, bring on our other guests at the end of the next segment with Mr. Lenard Rosen. You guys can check us out on Facebook, facebook.com/Voice America Talk Radio, and, of course, on Twitter at JeffSpinney2, at Radio Ryan1. We'll be right back with Finding Your Frequency right after these messages.
And welcome back to Finding Your Frequency. I'm your host, Jeff Spenard.
I'm your co-host, Ryan Treasure.
And we are talking to Mr. Gene Guarino, humanitarian,
serial
entrepreneur. The guy does everything in the financial world.
Yeah, Gene, as we were talking just before we came off the commercial break, we were, kind of just talking about some of the differences between those standard assisted living communities and, what you put together, which, I have a personal experience with. So, definitely, like I said before, kudos for, really bringing that to the table because I think it's a needed service for, our elderly. And I know that, my mom is, just barely about to retire. She just turned 68. Yeah. She's going to retire. And, so some of these things that my mom and I have started to talk about too, just kind of keeping her apprised and making sure we're always following those. But, if there was somebody else out there, right, that kind of came across the same problem or predicament that you did, which caused you to get into this business in the first place, what would you say to that person who's trying to, enter in, whether it's for, their own business purposes or just solely for helping out maybe one of their own family members?
This is a great business, and it can also help a lot of other people. We have a motto at our company, Residential Assisted Living Academy, do good and do well. So the concept of, needing to help yourself, I always tell people you're going to get involved in assisted living one way or the other.
Yeah,
and everybody laughs. Right. It's like, well, you're either going to own the real estate and lease it to an operator, you're going to own that business, or you're going to be a customer, and it's either you or a family member. And when you think about long-term care policies, and I know this is hard money with Lenard that we're going to be talking about, but the concept of long-term care policies, most people don't have that. They're not paying $5,000 a year to have that long-term care insurance for when they're 85 years old. So their plan is really no plan at all. So they're just going to liquidate their assets and pay somebody $5,000 a month, or 30 years in the future, it'll be $10,000 or $15,000 a month times 2 if you're married.
Right.
And that's just going to suck up all of the assets and all of the savings. And then the kids who are then 50 and 60 years old, all of their life savings. Or they could do just one of these homes. Just one of these homes can produce $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 a month now in net income. And then when it's time to move in, you literally can move into the master bedroom and live for free.
Yeah,
Love it.
That's awesome, and
it really is.
Yeah, my mom actually has been paying for her long-term care insurance policy for the last 8 or 9 years, just because of what we had gone through with my grandmother. But that brings me to a question. I think if someone's been paying that policy, I know that a lot of those policies have a way to draw against them. Is that if you're paying into that policy, is that a good entryway into maybe getting started with one of those, knowing that, hey, I don't want to have to use this policy. I'd rather go the route of moving in the master bedroom and living for free. How do you leverage one of those existing policies to help do that?
Great question. And I think the concept of having both is really cool. Let me explain. If you have the policy, and let's just say you just said mom has only had it for a few years, 5, 10, 8 years, something like that. But the reality is the person who's had it for 20 or 30 years, they absolutely should keep it, because they're going to be cashing in on that at some point soon.
Right.
And more than likely, if they've had it for a long time, the benefits are lifetime benefits or a long period of time. Yeah. And more than likely, with the cost of living increases, they'll be able to live in a really nice home. The problem with today is there's anybody new coming on. The insurance companies have figured it out. They screwed up at the beginning. They figured people would pass away before that they collected, that they would stop paying their premiums. So now that people are living for 5, 10, 15 years in these homes, the insurance companies have raised premiums, cut back the benefits, but don't cancel the policy. As a matter of fact, let's do one better. Double dip. Get the home, own the home, create the income stream now, and when you move in, if mom owns that home, the insurance company will pay the home that she owns that $5,000, $6,000, $8,000 a month, and she's the one collecting it. So double dip with your own insurance company.
Yeah, I never even thought about that for the double dip side, because you're right. When we first started going through the process of looking at those policies, and I thought to myself when the insurance guy said, "Hey, these are your options. You can have a term policy which covers you for X amount of years, or a whole life policy for extended care that covers you until you pass away." I told my mom, I'm like, modern medicine is really good. So I don't think like a 10 or 15 year term is something that you should get. You need to go whole life in the event that you live an extended amount of time. They'll cover you until you pass away, rather than, maybe being 10 years into your stay, and then all of a sudden your term is up on that policy and you have to renew. So that's a great bit of information on knowing about the double dip. And I'm definitely going to set my mom up with a
that, because what you just described there is life insurance, where somebody passes away and somebody left beyond gets paid. I was talking about long-term care, which is before you pass away, you're not doing well, you need assistance. That's what you're going to collect on. But here's something else.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about the long-term care as well. We got presented with options of whether it was a term policy of long-term care for X amount of years, or it was a long-term care policy that covered you until you pass away. Right.
Gotcha.
So that's why it was a no-brainer until you pass away.
So here's one more piece. I want to make sure people hear this, that some people, when they get older, they're like, I don't need the life insurance anymore. I'm just going to cancel the policy. Don't do that.
Right.
Because here's the deal. This is what people don't get. It's valuable. If somebody's 70 years old, 80 years old, and they have $1 million life insurance policy, yeah, they may not need it anymore, but there's a death benefit, and that has a value. Now, they may not die for 10 years, 15 years, but there's companies that will pay today a fraction of that $1 million. They'll give you cash for it today because they know actuarially you're going to pass away in X number of years in the future. So they may
it's
be able
almost
to collect
it's like
20 cents on
like
the
a
dollar
reverse mortgage
on that death benefit.
So it's like a reverse mortgage for your insurance policy.
Yeah, kind
Wow.
of is.
That's
And this is what I teach people this
It
in.
is.
We
It
have an
is.
academy, the Residential Assisted Living Academy, where we teach people how to convert the homes into the assisted living. And part of it is educating them on what are the possibilities of what you can do. Because as residents move into the homes, they're not sure what their options are and what they can do. And we train people from all over the country. I'm actually in Seattle right now, and I did a presentation last night, doing a training tomorrow, and I'm going to visit somebody here that I met last night who has one of these homes right here in Bellevue, Washington, actually Renton, just outside. And I'm going to be going to see it in a few minutes. I'm just so excited. She gets $6,000 to $8,000 per month per person.
Awesome.
She has 6 residents in the home, and she has a number of these homes. It's a very lucrative business.
Yeah, it's not. It sounds interesting because you get the benefits of knowing that you're supplying a safe and certified too, because I know these homes have certifications and licensing that they have to have. So you're providing a safe, secure, licensed location for an elderly person to reside at that gives them the peace of mind of being cared for. That's not in the hotel style complexes, and at the same time being able to reap the rewards of the business benefits of those and keeping those in good standing. I think it's a fantastic business model.
Yeah, it's great. And I love sharing this with other people. And my goal is to really raise the bar for everyone around the country, because there's some homes out there that are kind of sad and not very nice. And I want a lot nicer homes, better options, because we're all eventually going to need it. And the population is aging, and the need is absolutely tremendous. So it's a great time to get in.
Well, it's definitely something to look into. I mean, always look into for avenues and resources to put finances or see what can be created in a scenario like this where we can help out with assisted living and generate income at the same time. Yes, it is a no-brainer at that point. But Gene, you're the guy that goes out there and teaches people and educates these people to give them that education, so that they know that when they're investing their money, they're taking their money to help seniors and do this on their own. You're the guy that coaches them along. So do you have like you talk about events, do you have like a schedule that people can watch and see where you're going to be? Or
Yeah, actually, I've got a lot of great resources that if people want to learn more about this, just go to the website RALacademy.com. So RAL, Residential Assisted Living, just RALacademy.com. And I have webinars there. There's an event schedule that they can see, and they can always call and ask questions. Love to share more with them.
But the good news is now we can talk about the Second Wind Success radio show.
Oh, it's so exciting. I'm so glad to be here on the network and being able to share this, because the whole concept is, we don't hit our stride many times until we're older. And it's not when you're 20 on your first thing. Sometimes it's your third or fifth or 10th. And Second Wind Success is all about that, helping baby boomers find their second wind in business and in life. So we're bringing on guests that have done that. They hit 50, and now they're hitting their stride, having their biggest success. And it's just so fun to be able to be sharing that with other people, inspiring them, because people are looking for things. They don't want to just punch a clock and just have a job. And
Absolutely.
whether it be assisted living or whether it be somebody coaching others, there's so many things that you can do. And I'm encouraging people to live with passion, do what they want to do.
Gene, we're very excited to have you as part of the network. We are about to go into commercial break, but I wanted to thank you for being on the show. It was great having you. and your show day and time.
It's Wednesdays at noon Pacific right here on the Voice America Variety Channel. And you guys can go get some more information on Gene Guarino and what he's doing at ralacademy.com and learn a little bit about how you can get into the field, help out your elderly family members, as well as churn a profit with residential assisted living. Gene, thanks so much for joining us. We're going to be back right after these commercial breaks. You can check us out on Facebook, facebook.com/Voice America Talk Radio. And of course on Twitter at Jeff Spinney2, at Radio Ryan 1. And when we come back, we're going to be bringing you Mr. Lenard Rosen from Pitbull. Stay tuned. Finding Your Frequency.
And welcome back to Finding Your Frequency. I am your host, Jeff Spenard.
I'm your co-host, Ryan Treasure.
And we are here right now with the most interesting man in hard money. Lenard Rosen started his broadcasting career in 1980 as the nightly news anchor for Financial News Network. In 1985, Mr. Rosen hosted The Lenard Rosen Show, which was nationally syndicated. Mr. Rosen has been featured in The Wall Street Journal, New York Times, USA Today, and many national trade publications. Mr. Rosen is considered the foremost expert in the field of private lending for real estate. Currently, Mr. Rosen is the CEO of the Pitbull Conference, which has produced 42 national conferences. Ladies and gentlemen, the most interesting man in hard money, Mr. Lenard Rosen. Lenard, welcome to the show.
Mr. Jeff and Mr. Ryan, it is my pleasure, gentlemen.
It is always a pleasure to talk to you, my friend.
I'm looking forward to seeing you guys next week. I heard there was some kind of event going on in Scottsdale.
We got this big event that's happening with this dude in hard money. I mean, it's going to be a really fun time. But yes, we are doing something brand new with you at this event, and we'll dive into the event here. We want our audience to know what the hell we're talking about. So,
yeah, right.
Lenard, talk to us a little bit about you, your background, and then we'll jump into the event.
Well, my background primarily comes from the broadcast side in terms of television. And back in the 80s, I was a host, the 6 o'clock anchor on the Financial News Network. And then when it was bought out by CNBC, they offered me to move to New York and work with Neil Cavuto and Dan Dorfman and Ron and Sana and so forth. And it just wasn't something I wanted to do. So then I produced my own program, The Lenard Rosen Show, which appeared nationally, was nationally syndicated on 167 television stations. And that's in the past, and we move on. And that was fun. That was fun. And we started Pitbull Conference many years ago. And the first event we had 3 people, and 2 of them were comped. And it has grown and it has grown and grown. We're going to have over 300 lenders, brokers, high net worth investors. We've got some of the greatest speakers. And by the way,
now that's awesome. That's almost double what we've seen.
Yeah. Listen, guys like Gene that you just had on from residential assisted living. I mean, this guy is a superstar. These are the kind of people that we have at our events. We feel very blessed to have Gene, RCN Capital, Rebecca Rice,
AJ Poulin.
So many big players from all over the country.
Yeah, you guys do a really good job. I've been in the event space for quite a long time, and I've worked in, events where we've done multi-million-dollar concert venues and, did the West Coast tour for the Hell Freezes Over for the Eagles. And I've experienced a whole lot of, shows. And one thing I have to say about you guys and your staff and what you guys put together, you guys make sure that the experience is really a one-of-a-kind type of experience, and cater all of your messaging to, the direct people that are at the event, and really make sure that everybody is getting their, return on investment at the event by providing great speakers with really good personalities. And, just wanted to throw kudos your way from an event guy, a live guy, over to another live guy, right?
To be compared to the Eagles event, Leonard, that's pretty damn good.
These guys just have have it down to a T. Everything is organized. It's on point, and really what makes this so special.
Leonard, tell us about the event. Tell the audience, what this event is about. Who's at the event? The content. Did we lose Leonard?
Looks like we lost him. Hold on.
Oh, okay. So we'll
get Leonard back on the line here in just a moment, and when he comes back on, we can dive back into these pieces.
But you know what? To continue on about this type of event, Leonard does put on a serious event. He has everything from the legal aspect to the lending aspect to the real estate aspect to the whole if you want to invest or commit to a project. Everything is covered under one umbrella. He has vendors that are part of this event, sponsors. He's got, like I said, the speakers that have some of the content. And AJ Poulin is one of mine.
Yeah, he's really good.
Oh, who's Hornick?
Yeah, yep.
What's his first name? Anyway, he is the is it Massachusetts?
Marlboro, New Jersey Township. Yes.
Yeah.
But we have Leonard back on as well, so Leonard can tell us all about this.
Oh yeah. Let me tell you who. I don't know what happened, guys. I think it's probably on my end. Let me tell you who a superstar is. First of all, I want to make a shout out to Artemis Capital right there in Arizona. These guys are rock stars. And it's going to be their first event. And let me tell you who a real rock star is, and that's Brett Alizawi. Brett is our director of business development, and when we are talking about the growth of a business, Brett came in. We're old friends from jiu-jitsu, and we've trained together for years. And Brett is just an absolute superstar. He literally single-handedly took the business from the business development stage and just ran with it. And I think that's why we see so much of an increase in our attendance and our sponsors. But look, at the end of the day, what really makes an event work are the people that attend the event. You can go to free events where they don't charge anything, and you're going to get a pitch and sell kind of event. There's nothing being sold at our event.
Right.
On stage.
Leonard, do me a favor. Real quick, explain to the audience what the content of this event is about.
All right. The content is how to take advantage of emerging opportunities in the real estate and lending space without using conventional banks. And that could be for fix and flip, investment rehab, commercial lending, portfolio lending. We teach how to be the bank, how to create your own real estate fund, how to create your own syndication. So if you're in real estate, if you're a mortgage broker, real estate agent, or entrepreneur, these are the kinds of people that come to the event because we offer ideas in terms of alternative financing, funding options that are not available to a lot of people.
Right.
And so it's not a panacea for anyone. This is not a get-rich-quick scheme and no money down and you're going to make $1 million. It doesn't work like that.
Sure.
It's very realistic. But I will tell you this. And, I'm going to be 65 years old next month. I've been around. I've seen a lot. I don't know any venue or any medium that you could use where...
I think something's going on with Leonard's connection. Apparently, he was right in the middle of a brilliant statement there, and he'll be back in a second. But absolutely this event, and I wanted to make sure that we covered the content. We're talking about, we're kind of skirting around, and I'm saying, well, the audience doesn't know about the topics yet or the content, what it's about. So I'm glad we at least got that out.
And to expand a little bit on what Lenard was saying, the event, not only, brings those business opportunities and such, but also, really covers the gambit in the entire space on if you're in the fix and flip and you need lending and you need cash to borrow, there's people there for that. If you are a bank and you want to lend money to people who are doing fix and flips, there's people there for that. So it's really a place to, for those guys to network and bring in all of the possible business opportunities.
They've got the legal conversation down.
Yeah.
Lenard, you're back with us.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
Oh, I'm here, baby.
I don't know what's happening, but we'll still carry on without you when you drop out. But you were in mid-sentence. You were excited. Where'd you leave off?
Well, it really has to do with the content. It's all about content.
Absolutely.
Bringing real-time content to the marketplace where people can absorb the information. Now, look, we have a VIP cocktail party Wednesday night. We serve a beautiful breakfast in the morning. We've got speakers in the morning. We serve lunch in the afternoon. We've got great speakers, roundtable discussion groups in the afternoon. We have our app where when somebody registers for the event, they have access to everyone at the conference.
Now, the app is new.
Yeah, the app is amazing. And then there's another cocktail party afterwards. So we feed you. We're there together as a community, as a family for that 24-hour period of time. And what I'm really excited about is Voice America is going to be broadcasting this live update. That's what makes us so damn exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys heard it here first, right here on Finding Your Frequency with the most interesting man in hard money, Lenard Rosen. We're going to be bringing you guys side snippets of the event. If you want to come and see the speakers and you want to hear all of the thought leaders in the space, you have to come to the event. But what we're going to bring you is kind of a side table, round table discussion from those thought leaders and bring you some interviews from in and around the keynotes and, really dig in deep as far as, what each company and what sponsors are doing and how they're able to offer their services and, really bring that out. And we're going to do it in a fashion where you can listen live on radio, voiceamerica.com/live events. And of course, live on video at voiceamerica.tv/events. And we're going to talk a little bit more to Lenard as soon as we come back from this commercial break and find out about the event and some more interesting information from Mr. Lenard Rosen, the most interesting man in hard money. Go check us out on Facebook, facebook.com/Voice America Talk Radio, at Jeff Spinney 2, at Radio Ryan 1. We'll be right back, Finding Your Frequency.
And welcome back to Finding Your Frequency. I am your host, Jeff Spenard.
I'm your co-host, Ryan Treasure.
And we are here with the most interesting man in hard money, Mr. Lenard Rosen. Lenard, we've been talking about this event. We got some exciting things coming up. Talk to us. What else? What else should we pay attention to for this?
Well, I want you to pay attention to something because I'm very appreciative of everything that Voice America does for us. So here's what I want to do. I want one of your listeners to be able to take advantage of our conference. And so I'm going to give you, Voice America, a $1,495 VIP seat that you can give away any way you want for our March 2nd event. Cocktail party's the 1st. To anybody that you want. So if you want to do it on, make this aware on your social media or whatever, one seat, $1,495, absolutely free. And people who know me know I don't comp anybody.
You know what, guys? This is an exclusive invite right here to the Pitbull conference right here in Scottsdale, Arizona at the Wekopaw Resort. Voice America is going to be there covering the event live. We got Lenard Rosen, the most interesting man in hard money, is going to be there sharing all of the secrets with the stable of thought leaders that he's brought together. I'm putting a post out right now on the Voice America Live Internet Talk Radio Facebook fan page, and you can call in, and if somebody calls in and talks to Aaron, our engineer, we'll give you the first set right now if you can call in. If not, we'll be right here monitoring that.
And you know what? Thank you, Lenard. This is such a huge, huge giveaway, a $1,495 VIP seat at this event. But also what we're going to do is we're going to interview you while you're there. So we're going to have a lot of fun with this.
That's right.
Make sure whoever wins this, guys, make sure you get their name, phone number, and email address.
Of course.
And then my office will send them all the information, and we'll get them all taken care of. So
perfect.
It includes the cocktail party, the breakfast, the lunch, the cocktail party afterwards, all activities at the event, the whole shebang. So, and I'm happy to do it.
Guys, I got to say this. For being at these events for the last 3 times, this is an awesome event to go to. The cocktail parties are fantastic. The networking is unbelievable. The content to the actual event itself is bar none world class. You're going to learn a lot. You're going to be entertained. And you're going to walk away from this saying, wow, that was one hell of an experience.
Terrific.
Not to mention, you guys, whoever wins these tickets, it's not just the entry to the event and the VIP access, which Lenard has so graciously given, but, don't forget, Finding a Frequency in Voice America is going to be on site attending all of the events, and you'll get to hang out with Ryan Treasure, Jeff Spenard, get to meet Lenard Rosen, and really get into the mix of what's going on with Pitbull and, really figure out how you guys can step up your niche. And don't forget to call in 866-472-5788, and the first caller to call in will get those tickets. If we don't get a caller, because we only have about 5 minutes left in the show, we'll be monitoring the social media feeds. You can go check that out, facebook.com/Voice America Talk Radio.
Beautiful.
So, Lenard, the countdown begins. The second is it next Wednesday?
It's next Thursday.
Next Thursday.
We're 6 days out.
So the countdown begins. So what do you do to get yourself primed up for your event? You got a ritual?
That's actually, yeah. My ritual is this. First of all, I never eat fish, or I never eat shellfish or fish the night before. I did an event up in San Francisco about 10 years ago. I got so sick, and I actually went on stage, and at the first break, I had to go in the bathroom, and I was sick, and I got through it. And so
good.
my ritual is I eat a salad the night before. I don't really have a lot of notes. I let kind of the moment happen. I know what the format is. We go with it. Yeah. We have fun with it. Look, the whole idea is to have fun and do it in an enjoyable way where it doesn't feel as if you're working, but it feels like it's a nice experience.
Yeah.
And that's what's nice about having you guys there, because you guys are light and bring up, we're laughing through the whole thing, and it's great. I'm really looking forward to it. What's the weather like, by the way?
It's all about the free flow.
The weather, oh man,
it's beautiful out today.
It's for lack of my English language, it is stupid nice outside.
Really?
Stupid nice, ladies and gentlemen.
It's 70 degrees. It's clear. We're going to get a little rain shower over the weekend. It's going to clear up, and it's going to be nice and beautiful, mid-70s in Scottsdale for the event.
Yeah, next week we're going to have some good weather. Yep.
Can't wait. And my crazy brother is going to stop in. He's got a program with you.
There we go. Mr. Ira Rosen. He's going to be in attendance.
Yes.
Huh?
Mr. Mojo Global.
He's going to stop in and make a showing.
Okay. All right.
Oh, that's good.
Is he doing something with you now? in the hard money or lending space and investment?
No. He's got his. My older brother. He's an amazing person.
Yep.
And he does his own thing. He's a marketer and one of the best there is.
Yeah.
But he's got, I don't get to see him that often, so he's going to stop in and definitely make a showing. And he has, he's been with you guys a long time.
Yeah.
He's got his own radio program.
I haven't. Yeah.
Speaks very highly of it.
Yeah, and I haven't seen it. And thank you to Ira for introducing us. I'm really glad he did. It was a great introduction, and we're doing some great things together. And we'll be putting programming together, not only with people from the event, but hopefully one of these days we're going to get Lenard together with the panel and get a show going on Voice America.
We're working on that. We are definitely working on that. And every time you come to the event, we get one notch closer.
Yes,
got to make sure that we've got the right people. Got to make sure we have the right synergy going. But that is going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. It is going to happen. Yes, we do get closer every time. But the key is that these live events that we do and be able to get the education out there to the folks around the world, it's priceless information. It's always accessible on demand, and we just keep adding to it. So, Lenard, we are very, very glad to have you as part of the show today. Is there any parting words? We're about to come to our closers. Anything that you want to talk about before we go?
If you cannot be at the event, you have to listen to Jeff's broadcast of the event on your channel.
Yep.
That is a must.
Yep, I absolutely agree, guys. You can check out us live on voiceamerica.com/live events as we bring you radio coverage of the event on Thursday, March 2nd. And, of course, live video stream, raw and uncut, right to voiceamerica.tv/events. I want to give a big shout out and thank you to Gene Guarino and, of course, the most interesting man in hard money, Lenard Rosen. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, gentlemen, and I'll see you in a few days.
Sounds good. Looking forward to it. And again, yes, thanks for being on.
Guys, go check us out on Facebook. And again, we still have that deal rolling. If you guys want to get in on it, go to the Voice America fan page, facebook.com/Voice America Talk Radio. And you can get signed up for your free tickets to the VIP event at Pitbull Conference. Check us out next week as we come to you from lovely Phoenix, Arizona, right here at Finding Your Frequency. We'll be back next week. Stay tuned.